Anna Lembke, Dopamine Nation, Finding Balance in the Age of Indulgence. In Dopamine Nation, Finding Balance in the Age of Indulgence, Anna Lembke explores the addictive nature of our society, shedding light on our collective compulsion to overconsume pleasure-inducing substances and actions. Despite our modern world offering unprecedented levels of freedom, wealth, and progress, the never-ending quest for indulgence has led to a continuous cycle of pleasure and pain. As addiction rates soar, so too do our efforts to escape and numb the pain. This book summary seeks to identify the key messages and insights into the depths of our pleasure addiction and offers pathways towards healing and healthier choices.
The Age of Pleasure Addicts. Picture an addict, and you might think of diverse portrayals, from a drug addict to a smartphone-dependent college student. The reality is that addiction is not limited to substance abuse but also includes compulsive behavior like gambling, video games, or compulsive reading. In today's era of overconsumption, we've all become pleasure addicts, thriving in the dopamine economy. Easy access to our chosen drugs is a significant risk factor for addiction. The opioid epidemic in the United States, the prevalence of potent narcotics, and modern technology have contributed to this growing problem. With 70% of global deaths linked to risk factors like smoking, obesity, and inactivity, we must understand that our relentless pursuit of pleasure is causing us more pain than happiness. Escaping misery's paradox. During the 1800s, doctors believed that pain promoted healing, but modern medicine focuses on eliminating discomfort. This mindset has inadvertently led to the overuse of prescription medications as distractions from our emotional pain, numbing us instead of addressing the root of our unhappiness. Paradoxically, attempting to avoid misery has intensified our collective suffering. By understanding the relationship between pain and pleasure in our brains, we can learn why indulging in distractions has ceased to make us happy and seek healthier alternatives. In the past, surgeons performed excruciating procedures without anesthesia since pain was thought to accelerate the healing process. Nowadays, the emphasis has shifted towards alleviating discomfort, which has unintentionally driven doctors to rely excessively on prescribing medications. Consequently, countless individuals now consume psychiatric drugs and antidepressants daily, with rates of stimulant and sedative use skyrocketing. Despite living in an era of unprecedented freedom, wealth, and development, we seem to have become more miserable. As we attempt to run from even the slightest discomfort, we choose instead to escape into various distractions, be it technology, entertainment, or medication, without truly addressing the underlying issues causing our discontent. Consider Sophie, a patient of Dr. Anna Lembke, who battled depression and anxiety while drowning herself in digital distractions. Upon realizing that Sophie's constant avoidance of discomfort was compounding her symptoms, Dr. Lembke recommended Sophie to try walking to class without the distraction of her usual podcast. Although it seemed mundane, the boredom allowed Sophie to confront the notions of purpose and meaning in her life, providing her with space for self-reflection and growth. Alarmingly, the obsession with dodging distress has only exacerbated our collective pain. The World Happiness Report revealed that citizens of numerous wealthy nations, including the United States, are experiencing declining levels of happiness compared to previous years. Furthermore, affluent countries exhibit higher rates of anxiety and depression than their less prosperous counterparts. Our brains have a nuanced relationship with pain and pleasure, but our current approach to handling discomfort has largely resulted in the fulfillment we seek eluding us. In grasping the neurological consequences of our escapism, we can begin to understand how temporary distractions from pain have lost their efficacy and discover healthier coping mechanisms to cultivate contentment. Pain follows pleasure. Anna Lembke's fascination with the Twilight Saga illustrates the pleasure-pain balance in our brain. Pleasure often leads to a craving for more, and neuroadaptation causes tolerance, pushing us to seek stronger stimuli for satisfaction. Eventually, pleasure decreases, and pain sensitivity increases, trapping people in negative cycles. However, the brain can restore balance over time or find new pathways to help make healthier choices, depending on the severity and duration of addiction. Anna Lembke's obsession with the Twilight series began innocently enough, as she read the entire saga 4 times. Initially, the pleasure she derived from her literary indulgence kept her coming back for more. However, each successive reading lost its appeal, pushing her toward stronger, more extreme vampire-based entertainment. This scenario is a perfect demonstration of our brain's pleasure-pain balance. Our brain processes pleasure and pain in overlapping areas, working to keep them in equilibrium. When we experience pleasure, it acts like a scale tipping towards joy, releasing dopamine. However, our brain also tries to level things out by tipping the scale to the side of pain. Intellectual and emotional pleasure, such as reading a captivating novel or engaging in a hobby, typically triggers the craving for more, hence the birth of the term, just one more. As we pursue this desire, our brain undergoes neuroadaptation, developing tolerance to these stimuli. This tolerance dulls pleasure and amplifies pain over time, similar to drug addiction. Escalating this cycle can lead to a dopamine deficit state where an individual's ability to feel pleasure diminishes, and sensitivity to pain increases. Lembke experienced this phenomenon when her passion for reading turned into an incessant pursuit reminiscent of drug addicts avoiding withdrawal by craving more of their vice. Such behavior increases the risk of relapse, perpetuating the pleasure-pain imbalance. However, the silver lining is that, given time, our brain can restore balance, allowing us to enjoy life without the crutch of destructive behavior. Nonetheless, for long-term and heavy users, recovery can be a more prolonged or sometimes permanent journey. Even with addiction-induced brain changes, new pathways can develop over time, helping us steer clear of our triggers and make healthier decisions. Abstinence unlocks insight. Our brains are designed for a world of scarcity, but in today's society, we constantly face an overwhelming abundance of stimuli. This reality has tipped the scales of pleasure and pain, leaving us feeling perpetually unsatisfied. To regain clarity and satisfaction, it's beneficial to learn from recovering addicts and their journey. Abstinence can lead to insight, helping us understand the root causes of our discomfort and recalibrate our reward pathways. By taking a break from overstimulation, we can uncover hidden health conditions, gain valuable self-awareness, and ultimately rediscover the pleasure of a balanced life. Our minds struggle to adapt to a world that's designed for constant overconsumption, and as a result, we often find ourselves lost in the pursuit of satisfaction. In order to recalibrate our internal reward systems, we can turn to the wisdom of recovering addicts. These individuals, once trapped in the cycle of addiction, have found clarity through abstinence. The key to overcoming the cycle of dissatisfaction lies in abstaining from overstimulation. For example, Delilah, who used marijuana daily to cope with anxiety, found relief after participating in a dopamine fast. By refraining from using the drug for a full month, she allowed her brain's reward pathway to reset, leading to greater self-understanding and reduced anxiety. But why did a 4-week break prove more effective than just 2 weeks? Scientific research demonstrates that after 2 weeks of abstinence, the brain's dopamine activity is still diminished. However, a study conducted by Professor Mark Schuckett revealed that, after 4 weeks of abstinence, a significant majority of daily drinkers no longer met criteria for clinical depression. Taking a break from overstimulation can also help uncover underlying health issues. Around 20% of individuals don't experience an improvement post-dopamine fast, indicating potential psychiatric disorders. It's important to note, however, that those with severe addiction to substances like alcohol, benzodiazepines, and opioids should not attempt a dopamine fast unsupervised, as the withdrawal can be dangerous. In Delilah's case, a month-long break from marijuana helped her understand the true nature of her addiction and anxiety. As her body detoxed, she realized the drug had been controlling her life, and her anxiety originated from her dependency on it. With this newfound clarity, Delilah could finally enjoy her life without the crutch of marijuana. In conclusion, practicing abstinence can unlock valuable insights and help reframe our understanding of happiness and satisfaction in a world driven by overconsumption. By stepping away from our compulsions, we gain the opportunity to rediscover a more balanced and healthy existence. Pain, the path to pleasure. Cold showers helped Michael, a former drug user, transition from pain to lasting pleasure. Science supports this phenomenon, revealing how embracing pain can lead to increased dopamine levels and more resilience. Examples of this principle include a runner's high, intermittent fasting, and exercising. Even Hippocrates utilized pain as a stepping stone toward healing, highlighting the idea that pain can serve as a path to pleasure and overall well-being. Following his liberation from drug addiction, Michael found solace in cold showers. The euphoria he experienced resonated with his feelings while on ecstasy. This wasn't merely a personal reaction, as a study from Prague's Charles University highlights a significant increase in dopamine levels with cold water treatment. Michael's exposure to pain through ice baths led to lasting pleasure, a concept that has roots in ancient wisdom. Socrates pondered the pleasurable effects following pain, as seen in modern-day experiences such as a runner's high and the thrill of watching a frightening film. Scientific research supports the idea that moderate exposure to painful stimuli can increase resilience. Examples include worms that withstand higher temperatures after initial exposure and the longer lifespans of Japanese citizens exposed to low-dose radiation in 1945. Practices like intermittent fasting and exercise also demonstrate these benefits. These habits might be painful, but they result in improved physical health, reinforcing the connection between pain and pleasure. Even the legendary physician Hippocrates acknowledged the healing power of pain, stating, "Of two pains occurring together, the stronger weakens the other." Acupuncture follows this principle, with studies showing that one painful stimulus lessens the effect of another. In conclusion, Michael's happiness following the discomfort of his icy immersion illustrates the counterintuitive truth about finding healing in pain. By understanding and embracing the role of pain, we can discover lasting pleasure and well-being. Embrace radical honesty. Maria, a recovering alcoholic, discovered the power of radical honesty after opening a package meant for her brother and initially lying about it. Telling the truth not only improved their relationship, but also helped Maria confront her actions and grow from her past mistakes. Radical honesty has been recognized as a valuable tool in recovery programs and religious beliefs as it brings awareness, accountability, and intimacy. By sharing our flaws openly, we create stronger connections with others and foster a sense of security. Embracing radical honesty can ultimately lead to personal growth and emotional well-being. One day, Maria, a former alcoholic, had an eye-opening experience. She had opened a package addressed to her brother and, when confronted, lied about it. However, the guilt Maria felt from lying led to a sleepless night and a determination to tell the truth. Upon confessing her actions and asking for forgiveness, she realized the heavy burden her lies had placed on her. More importantly, this honesty repaired and strengthened her relationship with her brother. Radical honesty is a fundamental concept found in major religions and recovery programs worldwide. Speaking the truth, even when it reveals our flaws, makes us more aware of our actions, holds us accountable, and fosters intimacy in relationships. By verbalizing our truth, whether to a therapist, an AA sponsor, a priest, or a close friend, we can gain new perspectives on our lives and struggles. Our addictive behaviors often operate on autopilot, chasing rewards without considering the consequences or denial of the damage incurred. Interestingly, a Swiss study discovered that electrically stimulating participants' prefrontal cortexes, the brain region responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation, increased their honesty. This raises an intriguing possibility. Practicing radical honesty could stimulate our prefrontal cortexes, promoting emotional regulation and helping us break free from compulsive overconsumption. Admitting the truth about ourselves can be daunting, as we may fear rejection if others learn about our flaws. Contrary to this belief, vulnerability goes a long way in building connections with others who may see their own flaws reflected in us. This shared experience of candor helps others feel less alone, forging a sense of intimacy in safety. In an environment composed of reliable and honest individuals, we derive a feeling of security about ourselves and our place in this world. This ultimately assures us that everything will turn out fine. To sum up, by embracing radical honesty, we can foster growth in relationships, personal improvement, and overall emotional well-being. It's time for us to share our truth, no matter how imperfect, and create connections that withstand life's challenges. Embracing prosocial shame. In a world where destructive shame is often shunned, embracing prosocial shame is vital in fostering personal growth and building strong communities. Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, is an exemplary model of how prosocial shame empowers individuals, helping them find redemption and healing through honest self-reflection, shared experiences, and mutual understanding. By uniting with support groups, members gain greater compassion, humility, and a newfound sense of belonging. Our society has grown increasingly aware of the negative effects of destructive shame, such as slut shaming, body shaming, and social media shaming. However, shame can also be a powerful force in forging connections and reinforcing positive behaviors when approached constructively, as prosocial shame. Addicts and alcoholics, for instance, may deal with a plethora of shame-inducing behaviors, from lying and stealing to overindulgence or other social faux pas. Thankfully, organizations like Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, help to reshape this guilt into prosocial shame. Instead of alienating people for their mistakes, AA encourages acceptance and growth, recognizing that everyone makes mistakes and is worthy of forgiveness. An example of how prosocial shame positively impacts people can be seen in the story of Lori, a patient of Dr. Lembke who grappled with alcohol abuse and overeating. Her church community shunned her, leaving her feeling isolated. However, Lori found a supportive environment in AA, where honesty and understanding allowed her to feel connected with others who shared similar burdens. Prosocial shame builds humble connections and provides a platform for people to relate with one another, combining strength and empathy through shared experiences. Lembke's mentor, an AA member, describes his journey to recovery as a de-shaming process, in which he was able to express his experiences, empathize with others, and reconcile with his past actions. Ultimately, embracing prosocial shame fosters a deep sense of compassion, understanding, and growth. As we learn to navigate our failings, we not only strengthen our own character but also develop empathy for those around us. Together, we learn how to mend, grow, and be more compassionate beings. Rapid Profit Growth Unveiled. Cameron Herold's Double illuminates the path to swiftly doubling your revenue and profit within a mere 3 years or less. Offering valuable and tangible strategies, he emphasizes cultivating solid customer business relationships, nurturing a creative company culture, and implementing intelligent financial planning. Accelerate your business with Herold's expert guidance and grasp the keys to unlocking unprecedented growth.
Anna Lembke's Dopamine Nation is a compelling exploration of our society's compulsive overconsumption and its impacts on our well-being. By examining our relentless pursuit of pleasure, Lembke elucidates that tipping the scales of our pleasure-pain balance can have devastating effects. By practicing radical honesty and embracing the concept of prosocial shame, we can create healthier habits and develop the compassion required to foster a more understanding and supportive society. Ultimately, understanding the intricacies of our pleasure addiction and learning to navigate it can lead us towards healing and rediscovering the simple joys of life.